Have you ever tried doing cardio in order to lose weight and maybe it didn't work? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna share with you what are the best types of cardio to do and exactly how much of it to do if your goal is to lose weight and get super lean, maybe even get six-pack lean. What's up, guys? This is Coach Amir from SevenFigureBody.com. I've been a professional fitness coach for the last 16 years, and I've had over 1,200 successful entrepreneurs completely transformed, and some of these you can see if you click below. So also, if you want to join a community of elite entrepreneurs who are on the way of getting their leanest, healthiest, strongest bodies, check out RippedCEO.com. So guys, cardio is the number one thing that most people think about when they say, okay, I need to lose some weight. The first thing is I need to do cardio. So I've talked about this on our channel a million times. You will not lose weight with exercise. You will lose weight by focusing on your diet. Tracking your calories and putting yourself in a sensible deficit is much, much easier to cut off 500 calories from your eating by just making different food choices without even knowing really that you are in a deficit, compared to doing an hour plus of some kind of cardio to burn the same 500 calories, okay? So exercise burns way fewer calories than we think it does. Both cardio and lifting burn way fewer calories than we pray and hope and think it does. It always burns less than we think, and therefore it's not really an effective way to lose weight. However, does cardio specifically burn calories? Yes. Does that go into our calorie math, if you will? Yes, of course it does. So if you can do a very, very long duration and or very high intensity, then great, it can absolutely help you. So for example, I'm 6'2", 215, 220 pounds, and I can burn about 800 calories per hour when I do a really, really high intensity. Let's say I'm a mountain biker, so I mountain bike, to the top of the mountain that's around the city, and that my ride usually is 2 hours, and I burn like 14 to 1500 calories doing that. Does it 1500 calories, if I do that 2 or 3 times a week, does that go into the calorie equation and affect everything else? Yes, of course it does. However, for most people, the calorie expenditure is going to be way lower. If you, let's say, run 3 miles every time, you're going to burn 300 calories roughly, because 100 calories per mile, that's kind of like a average that you can expect from running. It doesn't matter what your intensity is. If you just go with higher intensity, then you do it shorter, right? Meaning it lasts less. So for example, if you're sprinting out and you do a 7-minute mile or whatever, then your 3 miles are done in 20 minutes. Cool. But what if you're going really slowly and then, same 3 miles take 40 minutes? Okay, it doesn't matter. You'll burn the exact same number of calories because you are actually, you went through the same distance and covered the same distance. Therefore, you will burn either fewer calories, but longer ends up being the same as more calories shorter, right? Now, of course, from that very simple math, we can see that the answer is as high intensity as we can do for as long as we can do it. And this is actually the number one thing that I can give you, instead of telling you, this is the best type of cardio, running is better than cycling is better than this. That's not true, because for every person, a different thing is going to be true. So for example, is running going to burn more calories, generally speaking, than swimming, for example? Yes, it will. It's harder on your body, but it's also a lot harder on your knees and your hips and your ankles and overall joints and bones. And also connective tissues, tendons, ligaments, they all suffer from running. On cycling, yes, I'm a cyclist, so I'm very biased, but cycling is amazing because there's no impact when you do that, right? You're on a bike and the bike goes over things, so you're not like slamming your knees. Actually, if people have a knee replacement or do some kind of knee surgery, the actual rehab for after that procedure is cycling. Like you get on a stationary bike and do a very light intensity, because that movement that your knee goes through in a cycling, revolution, pedaling, is actually the most normal range of motion for the knee. So it recovers really well. So that's why I love cycling over running, even though as an ex-pro triathlete, I used to run a lot and I love trail running. It's just really hard on a person that's 220 pounds, right? So anybody that's over, I would say 190 or 200 pounds, anything over that, running is great. It's amazing, beautiful sport, but it's just not really good on our knees at all, and other joints. However, there's no, this cardio type is better than the other one. The question is, which of these fits you most and which one you enjoy most so that you can burn the most calories by doing the highest possible intensity with the longest duration. That would be the best cardio type for you. So for example, for me, it's certainly going to be mountain biking. I'll do under 2 hours and I'll burn 1,500 calories. That's amazing. Imagine if I wanted to run 2 hours to burn the 1,500 calories or a little bit more or less, it doesn't matter. Like I wouldn't have any knees in a few months, right? So that's the idea. On the other hand, I have a biking buddy who is 5'4", he's 150 pounds. He can ski and bike, and run as much as he can. Nothing ever hurts because he's so light. So would running be better for him? Maybe, if he likes it, right? Like calorie-wise, basically the answer is the best type of cardio, generally speaking, is the one that you can do with highest intensity for the longest duration. Now, let's actually talk about a few other things that can affect your results when it comes to losing weight and getting in really great shape. Number one, are you lifting weights? If you are lifting weights, how many times a week are you doing that? If you're doing that 2 to 3 times a week, and then let's say you do 2 cardio sessions a week, you're fine because you can totally recover from that. That's totally okay. But what if somebody says, hey, I'm a gym rat and I love to be in the gym 3 to 4 times a week and hit it really hard. Should I then, on top of that, add cardio that is moderate intensity or really high intensity, like the heat, the sprints, the HIIT, high intensity interval training, which has been the rage, the last like 10, 20 years. It's like, oh, heat is the best. And the reality is it's not. Because if you're lifting weights, which are considered high intensity activity if you do it right, and then you do another, let's say 3 to 4 times a week, and then you add 1 more or 2 more high intensity cardio sessions, you are not going to recover from that. There's a concept called interference effect, which means the physiological adaptations that your body goes through after cardio sessions versus lifting sessions are completely different. They're opposite. So that's the interference effect. If you're trying to do both, so if you're trying to lift weights to build muscle and do cardio to be cardiovascularly, the fastest if you can, both of these are going to hinder each other. So you're not going to get the best results in either. You're going to get okay results in both. That's why marathon runners just run a lot. They don't really lift weights that much. That's why bodybuilders don't really run at all or don't do any cardio. They do a little bit, but not with the goal of running a marathon, right? So please remember the interference effect is strong. One other thing that a lot of people ask is, should I do my cardio and lifting in the same session? Ideally, you would not. Ideally, you would separate this in 2 different sessions. So if you can have this on separate days, that is ideal. If it has to be in the same day, if at all possible, I know it's logistically hard, but it's much better to have a few hours in between. So if you can do your lifting and then later on do your cardio in the same day, like a few hours later, I know it's 2 workouts a day, it's hard for a lot of people, but let's say you said, hey, I got 2 days per week that I can work out, because I work less or whatever it is, and during those 2 days, I can have 2 30-minute sessions per day, but it's only 2 days. By all means, separate cardio and lifting on each of the days, okay? On the other hand, if you can't separate them, and it has to be within the same session, always, 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 always do your lifting first, and then do low-intensity cardio after your lifting. Okay? The reason for that is simple. If you do your cardio first and then go lift, your lifts are going to suck. You're going to be absolutely weaker than you normally would. You're not going to get nearly as many reps and sets or weights that you would be able to use if you didn't do the cardio first. So always do your lifting session first, and then yes, you'll be tired and exhausted, so that's why do not do heat by any means. Do low intensity cardio after that. And actually 20 to 30 minutes of low intensity cardio is more than enough after your lifting sessions, if you can't do anything else other than combine them. In that case, always do lifting first. Is it better to, for example, do a long run or do a long bike or do some kind of, whatever other cardio? There's a lot of people doing kickboxing classes, BJJ, really popular chain of these fitness centers. One of them is called the F45 training. The other one is the Orange Theory. So it's basically like you do weights and cardio all in one, which is great. That's cool. I like it. Compared to nothing. Like I would much rather people actually lift weights and then do specific cardio for a specific result. Because remember, you lift weights with one goal, to build muscle and get stronger. That's it. It's not to burn calories, because you burn very few calories. Cardio, you can do it for fun. Like I enjoy mountain biking. I love being in nature, sure. But when you do cardio, I would love for it to be intentional, meaning you should have one aerobic base building session, so lower intensity, possibly and preferably longer duration, and then one more should be higher intensity so that you can build the VO2 max. Because remember, as entrepreneurs, if you are a smart, successful entrepreneur already, and the one thing that's missing in your body is having, a really great looking, strong, healthy, high energy body, if that's what's missing, well then, we're probably concerned with living as healthy as we can for as long as we can. And I've talked about longevity many times on this channel. You need high VO2 max, high amounts of muscle and strength, daily steps. Those are the three things that we want physically in order to live as long as we can. So your cardio, when you do it, should be done to first build aerobic base and then do some VO2 max sessions, meaning high intensity sessions, so that you can build your VO2 max higher. We lift weights to build muscle because more muscle means stronger immune system. You are more resistant to diseases. You recover from them faster. Overall, you're stronger and fitter, and everything else that happens. And of course, you look good. Your confidence is up. All your health parameters are up. All of these great things come from doing both cardio and lifting together. So that's why a regular gym bro who just lifts weights and has never done any cardio and can't run, for 10 seconds without passing out, that's not it. Just like the cardio dude who's running all the time and can't lift, can't do half of a push-up, that's not it either when it comes to optimizing it all. So sure, if you say, hey, I'm a marathon runner, I don't care that I can't do 3 push-ups, I just want to run marathons, awesome. But if you think about longevity, which, I've been a professional athlete, 3-time national champion, Olympic Games candidate, I've done my share of racing for 15 plus years of my life. And after all of that was done, I retired when I was like 35, retired from like overall racing, so 5-6 years ago. I can tell you that right now, what I care about is being healthy and not injured and doing all these things that I can to make it so that chances are that I live as long as I can. I believe that human body is built to live at least 100 years. And of course, cardio and lifting weights and good diet and reducing stress and daily steps and good sleep. These are the things that get us there. So when it comes to cardio and which one is the most effective for weight loss, remember, it's going to be whatever type of cardio you can do. That is, again, running, cycling, swimming, hiking, whatever other thing that allows you to be at a higher intensity for as long as you can. And in that case, I would say for most people, moderate intensity is probably going to be best overall. Why? Because the impact on your recovery it doesn't take as long. The impact on your knees and joints of all the other joints and connective tissues is not nearly as hard as it is on sprinting. And a lot of people say, hey, I started sprinting and the first time I got injured, I pulled a hamstring. The other day, something happened with my knee, etc., etc. Yeah, most of these things don't happen when people do moderate, so low intensity for quite a few weeks, maybe 1, 2, 3 months. If you've never, or haven't been doing cardio for a long time, go very low intensity, 30 to 60 minute sessions at a time, 1 to 3 times a week. Do that for at least a month or 2. Then try to, add in 1 more session, or if you're doing 2 a week, do 1 like that, low intensity, and 1 a bit higher intensity with, let's say, 20 to 30 seconds, a little bit faster pace, and then slow down again. Rest for a minute, and then repeat that a couple of times. Over time, what you want to do is increase the amount of high intensity, the length of the high intensity intervals, and then decrease the rest time. And of course, at the end, please remember your VO2 max is literally the maximum pace that you can sustain for 4 minutes consistently. So it's not like sprinting and then it's like consistently for 4 minutes all out. That's your VO2 max. We want to try to raise that, because guess what? If your VO2 max is low and you get it from low to moderate, you reduce your all-cause mortality by 50%. Guys, this is years and decades added to your natural lifespan if you go from low VO2 max to moderate VO2 max. I think it's a really, really good return on investment to do 2 cardio sessions a week to reduce your all-cause mortality risk by 50%. It's insane. Now, of course, when you start going to the gym, building muscle and getting strong, you reduce that even more. When you have daily steps, 8 to 10,000 steps, you reduce that even more, etc., etc. Please remember, guys, Cardio and overall exercise is not the way to lose weight. You lose weight by focusing on your diet mainly. Cardio is good for cardiovascular fitness and your VO2 max, which gives you health and longevity. Lifting weights builds muscle and gets you strong, which gives you all these other things that I mentioned and health and longevity. Dieting is the number one way you lose weight. So, by the way, if you want to join a group and community of elite entrepreneurs who are on their way of getting their most, ripped, shredded, awesome looking, healthy, and high energy body, check out rippedceo.com, where we have entrepreneurs being transformed as we speak every day. And if you want to consider or talk about Coaching 101, where we have a guaranteed ripped coaching program that is 90 days, and that's how I got the 1,200 plus successful entrepreneurs transformed in the last 16 years with that exact program, then you can click below this video. You can book a call to talk to me or somebody on my team. And if it's a fit, you can enroll in that program. In a couple of months from now, you'll be in the best shape of your life ever. If you're not ready for that yet, but you would like to know A to Z exactly how that system works, go check out this video right here where I explain all of it, nothing held back. It's literally all there for you to see exactly how we do that exact same system. So guys, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.